This podcast is supported by Music Theater of Wenatchee, celebrating 64 years of bringing stories to life. From show-stopping musicals to powerful plays, the Music Theater of Wenatchee stage is where stories come alive. Now they are writing the next chapter, and you can help make it happen. To support the next act of community theater in Wenatchee, visit annex.mtow.org and donate today.
Opening night club.
We're not opening a nightclub.
It's the opening night club. We can't wait to watch an opening night show, because on opening night we always go with our opening night club. Opening night club.
Welcome to the Opening Nightclub Podcast. This is the podcast where we get together every week, discuss and celebrate opening night theater all over Central Washington. I'm your host, Kevin McKee, and with me I have actor, playwright, and auteur, Skyler Cuthill. How are you doing, Skyler?
I am doing better, Kevin, from last week. The recovery has continued. I only fully lost one house, and the others are all repairable. The fully lost house is still repairable, just it's going to be out of circulation for between 1 and 6 months, the contractor said.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you able to find places for everybody, or did everybody find places to stay? We don't have homeless people, do we?
No, they went home to their parents. It's a young couple, so they went, screw this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's uninhabitable, so legally we can't rent it out anymore. So
I gotcha.
I got the paperwork circulating to cancel the lease and all that. So it's a shame. It's a shame, but considering the scale of the destruction around in the valley, it's really not too bad, right?
And the rain we had this week didn't make anything worse.
The stuff that I have that would have flooded was already flooded.
Gotcha.
So there was no serious. And there wasn't really very much wind. They said there was going to be a bunch of wind, and then actually it was kind of a wet fart. Not too bad. So yeah, I'm actually doing better. And, you always introduce me. I like to introduce my friend Kevin McKee, a local host, supreme.
I do. I host a podcast. I'm not sure how many people know that, but yeah.
You're about to host Christmas lighting.
Yes.
You're all dandied up. We are recording before Kevin goes down to host Christmas lighting in Leavenworth, because we are back. The lights are back on, right?
That's right. Leavenworth's back. This is a remote recording because we're actually recording in Leavenworth.
On location.
We're on location in Leavenworth just because this fit in. It is the holiday season, so we have lots and lots of holiday parties and things. So we're trying to fit this in when Skyler and I are both available.
This is like when the radio stations record at like a used car lot as a promotion or whatever.
That's right. We could be down at the Albertsons. Come on down.
Yeah.
We're giving out free cups and lighters.
We could be at the gazebo. The chamber should give us money.
Wouldn't that be fun? We could have a little oompa band in the back doing Christmas carols.
Wow, this is great. Wenatchee theater community. Surely you haven't heard about Christmas lighting before. Come on down. Although, it is true. A shocking amount of locals often have not participated in these kinds of things because they perceive them as being for the tourists,
Yes.
So, and I mean, to a degree, that's true. But it's always disappointing to me when you talk to somebody who's been here their entire life, a local, and they've never been to the Sound of Music once.
Well, you and I are community builders, I think. We love this stuff, and we want to get people out, and we get out and talk to people, and we'll see friends, and we want to include as many people as possible in these community events.
You should come and see the Sound of Music once. We've been doing it since 1995.
No,
you can give us 3 hours of your time.
I'm always surprised in Wenatchee, which Apple Blossom Festival is the big thing of the year, and it's several weeks of events and things. And I can still run into people that say, I just leave town during Apple Blossom. And I don't get it. And I want to encourage everybody to get involved in theater, especially because that's kind of our forte. But get involved in the community, become part of the community. Boy, it improves your mood. It improves your life.
Maybe back in the day, because I know that Apple Blossom had a pretty rowdy reputation back in the day. But nowadays it's very...
Yeah.
You're okay, right? I mean, you can have fun, let's be clear. It's not completely buttoned down, but it's not dangerous,
No, this was just people that didn't like the crowd, so I don't know where I'm going to park.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I think it's worth it. I think Leavenworth's worth it. It's a fun event, just being around people, being around the music, being around excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I do have another exciting piece of news. Speaking of this kind of community type thing, we had our first meeting for the Wenatchee Kyrgyzstan delegation.
Ooh.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, Wenatchee has a sister city relationship with the great nation of Kyrgyzstan. And every couple of years, either Kyrgyzstan sends a delegation here or we send a delegation there. And we are preparing to send a delegation to see the 2026 World Nomad Games.
So explain the World Nomad Games for people. There could be people that are unfamiliar with the World Nomad Games.
The world famous, most prestigious nomad event, the World Nomad Games. The World Nomad Games are the Olympics of Central Asia. They've been going on for, I think, about 10 years now. They're pretty recent. I mean, all the games are, of course, ancient, but it was started in Kyrgyzstan, and they happen every other year. And they travel around. So they've been in like Kazakhstan and Tajikistan and so on and so forth. And now they are coming back to Kyrgyzstan. So Wenatchee is sending a delegation. They start on August 31st. That's the opening ceremony. It's August 31st. And then they continue for a full week. We're sending a delegation to view the opening ceremony and then view all the games. So there's falconry and wrestling and archery and horse archery and the weird game they play with the goat carcass where they knock it around a field. So I'm extremely hyped to wear the silk outfit with the pointy shoes and eat roast goat and drink kumis, and hear the legends of the steppe, from the shamans. I'm extremely into it.
So have you bought your paraphernalia before you go, or are you just going to go there and buy your Kyrgyzstan outfit?
Oh, I'm going to buy it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Kyrgyz outfit. Yeah, absolutely. The fur cap and all that. Oh, I got to have it. Yeah.
You're going to be wearing it around town, and they're going to say, "Are you a wizard?"
God willing. I got to also figure out the legality of getting a sword out of the country. I got to have a Sashka. So I'm going to go home and Google sword on airplane and get a visit from the FBI. But I'm sure there's a way to move a sword across a continent or whatever.
I'm sure you could ship it.
Something.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
You could ship it home.
And this is a big tourist event, so they're going to be selling stuff.
Yeah.
There's going to be, merchants and whatnot.
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan is interesting. The Central Asian republics are interesting. So I'm actually I'm a Russia guy and I'm like a Central Asia guy. I'm very interested in all that stuff. I'm not just doing it for the sake of doing it, right? I've always been really into this stuff. And after Genghis Khan, unites the tribes and then, he dies and then his sons take over and they spread out. Some of the sons go south and they conquer China. Some of them go southwest and take over Persia and some of them go west and take over Russia, right? They spread out all over the place and they set up these dynasties. And Central Asia historically is called Transoxiana, right? The Trans-Oxus, the Oxus River. And it was always well known as being like a chaos zone. Nothing good happens there. China, classical civilization, very beautiful, silk, great food. Persia, classical civilization, poetry, religion. Russia, the Middle East, all these great places. And Central Asia is just nothing. It's like 1,000 years of nomads killing each other over cattle, right? So it's known historically as being like a total madhouse. So I want to get into that madhouse. I want to see what's up. I want to see the bandits,
So are there any cities in this area?
The entire nation has a population of 7 million.
Okay.
It's one of the least densely populated. It's like up there with Mongolia and Kazakhstan for like the least densely populated countries in the world. No, its capital, Bishkek, was founded like 100 years ago by Russians as a fort.
Yeah.
It is extremely spread out. The economy is piracy and they have a gold mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Piracy. An economy built on piracy.
And hurting.
It's like
Classic.
Barbados.
It's I'm so into it. I gotta check out Kyrgyzstan. I'm so into it.
I do want to flex on my co-host here. You do have a master's degree in Russian history, so everything you're talking about here actually comes with a lot of background knowledge.
No, I've always been very, very interested in this stuff. I took 3 years of Russian in school. It's almost completely gone. But I talked to the Kyrgyz woman they have in the delegation, and she said that, Russian is still like the diplomatic language in Kyrgyzstan. You can get around with Russian.
Okay.
Instead of having to learn Kyrgyz, which I'm sure is speaking of a total madhouse, right?
Yeah.
But so I gotta brush up. I have 1 year to relearn Russian.
Gotcha. Download Duolingo and start up.
God, I'm very skeptical about the usefulness of that one. I don't know. I'm sure there's an entire industry of like YouTubes or whatever. I'll figure it out. It out. And I'm not starting with nothing, but I was in school 20 years ago at this point. So I hate to think about that.
Yeah.
But so if you are interested, I believe there are still spots. You do have to pay your own way. It's subsidized by the government to a degree, but mostly you're paying your own way. So if you are interested in also going to Kyrgyzstan, the main trip is for a week, but people can stay longer if they want to. There's supposed to be like world famous hiking. Kyrgyzstan's very mountainous and has a really high and apparently very legendarily beautiful mountain lake, the Lake of Izikul. So if you want to go, I know a lot of the delegation is going to hang around for longer than the 1 week, but it has like 1 week of like planned events. So if you're interested in going to beautiful Kyrgyzstan in Central Asia,
awesome.
Please, if you're interested in going to Kyrgyzstan in beautiful Central Asia, please get in touch with me. You can still do it. Nothing is locked in yet.
Awesome. So we will be talking about theater, but this was a good sideline over to something else interesting to get involved with. So if you do want to see people kick a goat carcass around a arena, that is the place to go.
And kumis, the legendary. Everybody like figures out their own form of alcohol, in like native cultures and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And kumis is fermented mare's milk. So,
wow.
Yeah, that is the original drink of the steppes, fermented mare's milk, right? Fermented horse milk.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've got to do it. I got to eat roast goat and drink kumis and, like, hoot at the wrestlers. I feel like that's going to unlock something in me.
Learn how to sword fight.
Oh, my gosh, Kevin. I'm going to come back a man of the steppe. I'm going to come back so powerful. Nobody will be able to turn me down.
You're going to be on a horse the whole time for the rest of your life.
Yeah, whenever I'm showing property or whatever.
That's right.
People will be so intimidated by me. I won't have a shirt on, right? I'll have the fur-trimmed boots and all that.
That's right. Okay, so we had a couple opening nights, and I'm going to say I was not a patron to either of these, and you were able to go to both of them.
Yes, well, you were in the radio show.
Yes, we started with the radio show on Tuesday, which I've been in the radio show before, but it was a straight show. We had done a Christmas Carol, which seems like it gets done an awful lot. That was 2 years ago where I was Scrooge, and we did a straight radio play and then sang some Christmas carols, which was a lot of fun. This year, we did A Christmas Story, the musical, the actual Broadway musical, and we did it live. And we had the Wenatchee High School Jazz Band did all of the music for us, and we sang along with the play.
You had a huge amount of people on stage.
There's a lot of people on stage. We kind of packed it in, and we had all of the actors. Nobody was in costume. Nobody was in makeup. And all the actors would be behind microphones. And then we had a long table in the front where it was our Foley table. And for those of you who aren't familiar with a Foley table, it's what you would use on radio if you wanted to make sound effects. So when somebody opens the car door, they had a little door on stage where they would open and slam. And if somebody needed to walk in the snow, they would crunch a box of baking soda in front of a microphone.
The Foley guys were like down front.
Yeah.
And I think it was sold out, or it was very nearly sold out.
Yeah.
Right. So my seats were not very good. I was far right, house right. And one of your Foley guys was John Merritt, who's like 6'7". And every time he got up to like do the shoe scuffing sound or whatever, I lost the entire stage. Because he's so big. I was like, oh, goodbye. Farewell, the cast. I mean, it's a radio show, so the visual element was very secondary anyway. So
yeah,
I wasn't really missing anything, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was The Christmas Story, which is the 1983 film, right, which is adapted from a 1966 book by Gene Shepard.
Yes.
Right. And I like A Christmas Story. It's not really for me. It's boomer bait. It's remember this, that kind of thing. But it's a very funny movie. It stands on its own. But it's such a funny detail to me that the movie was directed by Bob Clark, who also directed Black Christmas and Porky's.
I had no idea.
Porky's a legendary sex comedy.
Yeah.
Kind of one of the most prominent sex comedies ever made, very, very famous. And Black Christmas, which is a very gruesome horror movie and is really great. I love Black Christmas. I'm a huge fan of it.
So he had fantastic movies in at least 3 different genres.
Yeah, he got it. Sometimes, like De Palma, he does thrillers, right? Yeah. But no, Bob Clark, he got around.
Wow.
Sex comedy, horror, and wholesome family Christmas film, right? And they're all really good. They're in their genres. They're really excellent. So this dude was great.
I would like to call out a couple people in the cast that I was surprised with, and they're our children's cast. We actually had kids on stage doing children. And the leads, if you've seen the movie, of course, the story's about Ralphie and incidentally his little brother Randy. And Ralphie was played by Hudson Eberth, and Lucy Brack played Randy. And they were fantastic. Hudson sang a lot of the songs. He was the lead guy singing, and he's very young. What is he?
He looked 8 or 9. He was small.
He was small, and we had used Hudson for the Holiday Spice when I needed somebody to play a young me. He came out, and I kind of goofed with him a little bit where he had to repeat things I said. But for this one, he was really acting, and he did a great job.
I got a huge kick out of it as an audience member every time he sang, because he would just like close his eyes and just like belt.
Yeah.
He was working so hard. You could see he was like park and bark, just like, giving it his entire life. And he did great.
I really liked it. Lucy, even when we were in rehearsals, I think she nailed the Randy voice.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. She's got great comic timing for such a young actor. Hudson's got great timing. I know that Hudson, I saw him in Lion King Jr., where he played like a hyena or something.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that.
Yeah, he had a very small part, and great to see him get a big part and really knock it out of the park.
So the radio show is always done by Danny Schaefer-Cloak. It's been going for years, and I was actually in it years ago. Yeah. And the main family, it's a huge cast, but the main family was Ernest Palmer as the dad and Amy Edwards as the mom, right? And everybody did really great. The family was really, really strong, which is really, in this show, that's the whole show, is the family, right? So it was an excellent show, and it was really carried by the family, because of course it was. But I did also want to mention, number one, Drunk Santa.
Drunk Santa was, that guy, I don't know how he got on stage.
He only showed up at the end, but it was a strong number. It was a show-stopping number up on Santa's lap. And then Ashley Pfluger as the teacher.
As Miss Shields.
Yes. And Ashley Pfluger is in real life a teacher.
Yes.
And she was so clearly in her element. She was so, it was like royalty. She was so there.
She had the teacher voice. And so when they're coming in to say that Flick has his tongue stuck to the pole outside, she was so appropriate and condescending and dismissive as the teacher.
She was so self-possessed. She had like a lot of dignity. It was like she was like glowing. She was like so pleased with herself as a person that she was deploying her teacher skills outside of the classroom. She was like, I'm going to show you all how it's done. This is how teachers do it. And she was great. It was a real pleasure to see her every time she got up there to like do her teacher thing. I was like, yes, amazing. She's a teacher.
I was sitting next to, or not right next to, but I was sitting next to Ashley, and in between us was her son Herbie, who I think got to be 7 or 8.
Yeah, he's I think the older one.
He's their oldest kid, and so I was sharing a mic with Herbie, and so when we would stand up and we're singing ensemble numbers, then I would have to take the mic and run it all the way down to the bottom so that Herbie could come up and sing into the mic the lines that he had.
Blessed.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. We had a fairly large ensemble that was singing and doing the incidental lines, playing the other kids. I did want to point out that Hudson was down front, and his dad, Kyle Eberth, who we've seen in, I think, was in Mary Poppins or White Christmas or something.
He was in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
He was in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah, he was one of the male ensemble.
Okay.
Yeah, and Brack was as well.
Yes.
Although you're remembering Brack from Mary Poppins when he was the dad. He was Mr. Bag.
That's what I'm. So both of them were also in here, along with their kids, were in A Christmas Story, and they played kids in this. And mostly, I think it was because the kids' lines, at least one of them, they keep saying, "Yeah, don't be a smartass," which was, that if you have to go blue in A Christmas Story, that's as far as you can go. And I don't think they wanted kids to be saying smartass, and so they passed that off to the dads.
No, it was and you had like Dylan Clare as one of the bullies, right?
Yes.
So you had a decent number of adults pitching their voice up and going, see, and it's fun.
And Carolyn Rensel had to do like all of the incidental girl characters.
Yeah, yeah. But that's part of the fun of this kind of thing.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Everybody just kind of jumps up and shouts their line into a mic. And there was a guy from KPQ in the back who was getting it all over to KPQ. And at some point after we had started, he had to jump on the phone because KPQ did not hit the button to go live. And so if you were listening on KPQ, you missed that. And apparently somebody else didn't hit the button to turn off the interstitial ads. And so during the show, KPQ ads would go over the top. So we did talk to them. They are going to replay it on Christmas Eve. So if you're interested in hearing what we're talking about, Christmas Eve, I think it's 7 o'clock, 7:30, they will be playing A Christmas Story again. So go ahead and listen to it. And it should be, they had recorded it, so it should be without any of the interruption.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah. So, if you are interested in doing it next year, really, they had auditions. So if keep listening to the podcast, we'll talk about the auditions for that as they come up next year.
Yeah, and last time we were speaking about Follies, which is like a good way to get your feet wet.
Yes.
And this kind of thing. This would also be that because the script is in front of you. There's not a strong blocking component. And Danny Shavercloak is very nice, very welcoming, and she always has a really beautiful spread put together.
That's right.
Because the rehearsals are at her house, and she has wine and food and hors d'oeuvres. It's really, she really puts a ton of effort into it. It's very, very nice.
Yeah.
And so one final thing, because I did a little research, the musical's from 2012, the musical adaptation.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that old.
And it was adapted. The music is done by Pasek and Paul, who are You Mish guys. And so it kind of started their big run. Because they also did 2012, they also did Dogfight. And then in 2015, they did Dear Evan Hansen. Then 2016, they did La La Land. And then they did Greatest Showman in 2017.
Oh.
So for like 5 years there, they did every prominent musical, every prominent new musical. Yeah, they've backed off since then. And also, I'll say, I don't really care for Dear Evan Hansen.
It was a big hit when it came out.
It was huge.
Everybody talked about it. But now in retrospect, everybody kind of craps on that show.
Well, the film adaptation is awful.
Well, he was too old.
Yeah, he was clearly in his like mid-30s, and it's just embarrassing because everybody else is cast appropriately.
Yeah.
But no, it is. I'm also not a huge fan of La La Land, except for that if you've loved and lost, the final montage is extremely affecting. But up until then, I only thought it was okay.
Yeah, La La Land is one of those things that I don't go back to. There's nothing in it that I will hum in my car.
Well, I like Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling a lot, right? But it's not even really a musical because it starts with like 3 songs in a row, and it's like, oh, this is a really good musical, and then it just stops. There's like the next number is in like an hour, the famous one on the cliff or whatever.
Well, and maybe part of it that Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling have been prolific with really good stuff, and so you that's not the pinnacle of their career.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Emma Stone. It's like she was in La La Land because she's done so many things.
Well, La La Land also, like Dear Evan Hansen, it was a huge phenomenon when it came out, and then it kind of went away.
Yeah.
But I do like La La Land. And again, the last like 6 minutes is really strong medicine. It feels very genuine.
Yes.
In a way, some of the rest of the show doesn't necessarily.
No, it's a good movie, but it's not memorable for me.
Yeah, it's not a classic. But yeah, Pasek and Paul for a while there, they were, man, what a run. Right? Wow. They can just retire. They can just be like, yep, we did it. For 5 years there, we did it.
They probably could retire. I hope they made some dough. The next show we had was on Friday night, and it was a one-day show, had 2 shows on Friday, and that was Holiday Spicier, which was a spin-off that started 2-3 years ago, spun off of Holiday Spice because people said, Holiday Spice is very clean. It's very family oriented. We've got some numbers where we have some numbers that are a little more adult, and we would like to have a spicier version of Holiday Spice.
People said we like Christmas, but where are the strippers?
That's right.
Yes. It's a Holiday Spice. You see a gap, you fill a gap. All right. That's capitalism, baby.
I think this is something that you find with theater people. And we see it at Leavenworth Summer Theater, where everybody's been together all summer. And we want to get together and re-sing these songs, but change the words to make them risque or a little off-color.
Yeah, some double entendres.
That's right.
Yeah. I will say that during the show, so I went to see the show last night, and at one point in the show, Domingo Gonzalez called it Holiday Picante.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to call it that from now on.
Holiday Picante.
Holiday Picante. Yeah, so this was their third year, and it's kind of a Jamie Donegan production, right? But I know Amy and Ernest are also big organizers, and Domingo's always run the band.
Yeah.
Right, so there are some important theater luminaries involved here, right? And it is kind of thrown together. They have a lot of like individual acts, right? So it's a combination. It's like a review.
Yeah.
There are spoken word sections, comedy sections. There are a lot of songs, and there are dances. The Radar Dames, the burlesque troupe, put together some, actually, probably almost certainly the highlight of the show. They had like one number in Act 1, and they had a Heat Miser and Snow Miser number in Act 2. Yeah, so some of the girls were in white and some of the girls were in red, and they like shoved each other around. No, and that was absolutely the highlight of the show.
Yeah.
They were great. They were great.
And we would want to talk about how packed this show is in this season. That we did have the Holiday Spice, the radio show, and Holiday Spicier, and there were other things in the pack in between these numbers.
Yeah.
But the fact that Holiday Spice is Amy and Ernest were in the radio show where they had significant roles and lots of singing, and then 3 days later, they had Holiday Spicier. And so a lot of Holiday Spicier, part of the charm of Holiday Spicier is it is so loose. Mm-hmm. They will get a lot of these people together who have already prepared their numbers, and so they will come out. And the Radar Dames, they've prepared numbers. We have singers, and they have their numbers prepared, and then they just kind of have to string everything together in 3 days.
Yeah. It's And keep in mind that Ernest is also running Leavenworth Christmas lighting while he's doing this.
Yes.
And it comes straight after Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Ernest.
He's the busiest guy.
Yes, he is. He is snowed under.
We're not going to see him for a couple months.
No. But yeah, Stacia McRae and Katie Ringley and Haley Scheffler, they all prepared their own stuff.
Yes.
Right. And Christina Capehart, right, who directed Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, she had a Christmas tree number. So a lot of individual numbers, a lot of group numbers, and then transition pieces. Jason Sims did magic, Mm-hmm. Jamie Donegan was in drag and told like body stories. So kind of a review type thing rather than like a show.
And puppets.
Yes. There was it was like Amelia Vanderpump. I don't know who was running the puppet because their program didn't have any actors' names in it. It was just sponsors. They gave us a little program, and it was just like, here are the promoters at the pack, and here are future events at the pack. So we don't actually have any names for you, I'm sorry, other than people that we already knew. But no, Amelia Vanderpump came out and was very lewd.
So was it spicier?
It was pretty spicy. Yeah. It was pretty picante. No, I liked it. I had a lot of fun. It was packed. It was sold out, and they sold a ton of alcohol. So, God willing, they made money,
And there's 2 shows. You went to the second show.
Yeah, my office holiday party was earlier, so I had some prime rib, and I slammed a few. And then I drove down to Wenatchee, and I slammed a few. And also, Ron Evans did what I think was an original composition.
Oh, yeah.
With Sarah Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the desirability of a certain unorthodox kind of sex.
Okay.
Yeah. Picante.
No, I remember from a couple years ago that Ron and Sarah did a number, and I was just impressed because I see Ron doing a lot of things, and it seems like he is in every part of the artistic community. Yeah. He does sculptures. He can paint. He is part of or one of the founders of the Radar Dames. He does not get on stage, but he's been an organizer for quite a while with them.
Well, and he played guitar, and he played it well.
Yes.
With his own song.
And he sings.
And I'll say that, I've been in the Sound of Music a lot of times, and often because, the Captain or Maria are kind of, they're known for playing guitar, right?
They should be playing guitar, yeah.
And so a lot of the times the actors come in and they go, how hard can it be? I'll figure it out, and a month later they go, I'm not playing guitar. So it's difficult. This is a real skill, right? So I was like, wow, Ron, you're like a real musician. Mm-hmm. Wow, look at you.
Yeah, he can do anything.
It was fun. It was good.
So he also is a newspaper editor.
Yes,
he publishes the Comet. No, the guy is a Renaissance man,
and he has his own podcast. We're in competition with him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know that he's doing Celebrating Theater in Central Washington, though.
Ron Evans' podcast sucks.
No,
Wow.
no.
It's no good at all.
No, I would never want to run down Ron Evans.
If we picked a fight with Ron Evans, we would probably lose.
We would lose.
Yeah. So backing that up. Never mind.
Yeah,
Edit that out.
Okay, we're running along, but
Okay.
I do want to talk about upcoming auditions.
Yes. So we're kind of done with shows for the year. We have the New Year's Eve show coming up, Ha-Has and Ta-Tas, but otherwise we're done. There's
Yeah.
no like theater going on for the rest of the year.
We don't have opening nights outside of the Radar Dames on New Year's Eve. Okay. So, but we do have shows that are starting up in January. We'll be talking more about those. I know that we've got the Minutes on the 22nd and the Kashmir High School production of Once Upon a Mattress at the end of January. But we have auditions because we're now gearing up for our spring shows.
Yeah, so it's time to get ready. We already talked about this last week, and we're going to talk about it more extensively later, but 1776 auditions on January 4th, and Legally Blonde auditions on the 6th and the 7th, both at the PAC.
And for both of these are open auditions. 1776, they will be paying stipends for.
Ooh.
And they are taking anybody. We were talking before 1776 is traditionally an incredibly male-heavy show, but they will be casting anyone for any of the roles, regardless of ethnicity or gender.
A lot of big group singing numbers.
Mhm.
Sit Down, John, the villain song to the right, the minuet. So if you want to get up on stage and sing, this is a really good one. And there's not a lot of dance. I guess I don't know what their specific vision is for it, but it's not a dance show. It's the Founding Fathers.
Yeah.
They're not doing flips or whatever. So a great opportunity, a ton of roles. The Continental Congress has a lot of characters in it.
Yeah.
So no, this is a really exciting one.
We also have Legally Blonde auditions, and this will be the Apple Blossom musical. And so that one, they really do cast a lot of people in here. You will be expected to dance a little, sing a little in this one, but it is the show that Music Theater does where they incorporate a lot of people. That's a lot of people's entry. That's their first show into Music Theater.
Whenever anybody moves here and is like a theater person, like back home or whatever, and is like inquiring about like how do you get involved, I always say you should do the Apple Blossom show because you get to meet absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
It's such an enormous show in terms of the scale. You meet every costumer, you'll meet every musician, right? You'll meet all the directors. Everybody is involved to one degree or another with the Apple Blossom show. So it's a great way to like glad hand and meet people and like figure things out.
Yeah. What you'll find is directors for other shows will be on this show, working backstage, building costumes. It involves a lot of people that aren't necessarily on stage during it.
Yeah. It's just such an enormous endeavor. You know, there's going to be 30, 35 people on stage, but there's an enormous support staff because in terms of budget, it is by far the biggest production. So
we also have Follies auditions coming up, and we want to make sure that we talked about this last week, that if you do have the opportunity and you want to be involved in theater, this is another great way to get involved. And I would probably say if you are nervous about your skill set, about your talent, Follies would be probably the easiest way. They're going to cut the fewest people out. Music Theater's Legally Blonde would probably be the second, and then 1776, because there will be money involved, will probably be the most difficult to get into.
yeah, I'm sure 90% of the people listening know this, but if you're not paying the actors, then often your incentive as an organization is to cast as many people as you can costume. But when you're paying them, like with LST, then you want to economize, which leads to the more like traditional Broadway type thing where you have people playing as many roles as they can handle.
Yeah.
Right. In order to cut down on salaries. But yeah, I probably will be auditioning for the Follies, I think.
Yeah?
I think so, because
Okay.
I'm not. There's not really a role for me in Legally Blonde. So my next show, otherwise, unless I'm successful at getting some of my own stuff going, and I'm not in Sherlock and Watson, it would be Lover Summer Theater, God willing. You know? It's not up to you if you're in Lover Summer Theater, right? Somebody else has to say yes. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to do the Follies.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never have. I saw it once years ago.
Yeah.
But I think I'll probably.
I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Are you going to do the Follies? You can edit this out.
I can't do the Follies.
The
I'm
Minutes.
in the Minutes,
Yes.
which will open up on January 22nd for those of you who are not familiar. So we've got auditions coming up. We've got one more opening night, which would be on New Year's Eve. The Radar Dames, their new show will be on New Year's Eve. And then we're going to move into 2026 with all the new shows starting at the end of January.
My heart fills with trepidation at the prospect of a new year, but we're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
We're stuck. There's not an alternative.
It will be the best year ever.
Yeah, let's
That's
say
right.
that. No, these shows coming up are good. LSD has a good season coming up. 1776 is a lot of fun. Legally Blonde is going to be a good show. These are all good shows.
Yeah.
I believe in all these shows.
Yeah, 1776, just, I don't think we mentioned it, but that will be the Hot August Nights, and it's kind of weird that they're auditioning in January for an August show.
Yeah.
That's a long time. I think it gives them an opportunity to, if they don't find the people they want initially, they can pull in more people.
Yeah, traditionally they've had a strong relationship with Marymount College on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So they do bring in sometimes some really, really polished performers.
Yeah. It worked out for Rock of Ages where they really needed some tenors because there's not a lot of guys in town that can kill that kind of thing. So they had to bring in some young guys with really good hair.
Importing the good-haired men.
That's right. Okay. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this week. Go out and see Ha-Has and Ta-Tas on New Year's Eve at the Performing Arts Center, and go out and audition for some shows. Get involved. You can be part of theater and have the opening nightclub come to see you.
And we'll be so nice to you.
We
go,
will
wow,
be so nice.
They were great. They were really trying.
We have a big theater community here, and you can be part of it. As an actor, as a musician, you can work backstage. There's so much you can do, but especially you can be the one to go see opening night. So go out to theater and make sure you go see another opening night.